Hello, a courthouse kidnapping and Facebook and YouTube and everyone. Um, so this particular video, obviously, you could tell, is going to be on the courthouse kidnapping YouTube channel, as well as my Facebook, because as you guys already know, my chair is really squeaky. My Facebook becomes somewhat of a catch-all for everything. Y'all just know everything. But I wanted to make this before I start working on some of the next things that I'm doing for the courthouse kidnapping YouTube channel. And also, if you're watching it over there, I do have a vlog channel on YouTube, and I always the one smiling, or you could just go follow my Facebook. It's Jamie C. Spence. Okay. The courthouse kidnapping and Mona's Laws is, of course, also on Instagram and Facebook, as well as their own separate stuff. And don't forget to visit the website. So the last video that I posted was last Thursday. It's been a week. It's Thursday today. And it was Deacon's birthday, my son's birthday. That was very rough because it was his 18th birthday. I haven't seen my son since he was 14 years old. He lives right down the street. Or not down the street, but, in the same city, 10 minutes, 15 minutes away maybe. I have been told that he's taller than me now, and he wasn't the last time I saw him. That was rough because it's 18, and as a rational person, I understand entirely that chronologically, on Friday, he wasn't that much older than he was on Wednesday. It's just 2 days, but it's that milestone and the finality of it all where, it's our idea in our head, because we've been told this for so long by the law, that 18 ends childhood. Now, does 18 end childhood biologically, psychologically, or emotionally? No, absolutely not. Not one birthday does that. You don't wake up on any birthday and be like, oh, different than I was yesterday. Everything's fixed. No. But the fact that it was just a big reminder how much has been taken. And I wanted to come back and readdress it because I think it's really important for everyone to realize when it comes to parental alienation. People think, oh, when they turn 18, they can see you. It doesn't. Their psychological chains don't end the day they turn 18. I haven't been able to speak to my son in almost 4 years. Every time I try to reach out to him, there is one of his abusers that he was sold to, in his ear, telling him horrible things about me, people that I don't even talk to because I've heard the horrible things they said about me. I've heard the horrible things they said about him. And I refuse. Sometimes the only way to win with toxic people is just not to play. And it's such a different layer of heartbreak when that is your own mother. And that's what I'm talking about. My babies are not stupid. It's not like they don't realize that, one, they don't have a mother right now. I mean, they do. We all know they do. If you've been following me, you know that they do. And I've told both of them, I am here the moment you need me. They can't, no. I will never, no piece of paper can tell me that I am not a mother. No, ma'am, no, sir, nobody outside or in between. No, thank you. So even though they know, they're not stupid. They realize they don't have a mother, and they realize that their mother doesn't have a mother. You see what I'm saying? That there are layers to this. What is going on in this family is generational, and it's being caused a lot by Jennifer. And looking back, and I'm going to talk about this for just a second too in a minute. Looking back, I'm seeing a lot of the same things that she's doing to me and my kids that now that she did to me and my own biological father when I was a teenager, and I believed her. When I say that these kids have been subjected to cult-like brainwashing, that is not hyperbole. Okay, let's look at Stephen Hassan. Okay, he wrote a book. I can't think of what it's called right now. I actually have a whole video coming up on this. And when he talks about, and actually before him, someone else wrote a book that had eight different criteria for cults. Stephen Hassan wrote a book and broke it down to 4 basic cults. I want to say abused. I want to say like the cults abuse these cult initiation practices. Let's put it this way. Okay. Cult-like brainwashing. And this is adults. I'm talking about adults brainwashing other adults. People no longer working with pediatric neurology. Like, can you imagine what these kids are going through? Okay. Stephen Hassan broke it down. He calls it the BITE model. BITE. And it's all about control. B, behavior. Control their behavior. And we're going to go over all of this in the video coming up. Information control. What kind of information do they have access to? T, thought control. E, emotion control. It's all about control. My children did not stand a chance against what was presented to them in that moment from all of the abusers around them. And this is the point, and then corrupt criminal trafficking attorneys solidified it to all of the other gullible adults who could not see what was going on, and to my children. Can you imagine how confused you would be as a 10-year-old little girl, 14-year-old boy who's never had problems with their mom, and all of a sudden everyone around you? And it's because Jennifer and Chris, remember, Josh was out to sea, okay? Travis was with Krista, who's his baby mama. He has a baby. Well, I guess I was not really a baby anymore. He's got to be like 4, 5. Okay, but we're getting out. Anyways, so yes, from the outside looking in, logically, you would think, well, when they turn 18, they can reach out, but you don't realize these children who have been alienated from their parents. I'm not talking about mine either. Children need both parents. A happy, healthy, well-adjusted child needs 2 parents. It's always been this way. Always. It's very much common sense. No divorce should leave any child motherless when that divorce, or in this case, a corrupt and messed up annulment after 10 years, had nothing to do with that child at all. That annulment had stuff to do with things that happened before Mona was even born. Me and Mona have never had any problems. I've never even raised my voice at my baby girl. But she was inundated. So was Deacon. And I'll put up a link to the little grooming videos that I've done for them so far. And think about, in these videos, I'm just telling you guys what I know so far. There's been 4 years of a lot of stuff that I've missed, and there's been 4 years of a lot of stuff I've heard that there was nothing I could do about it, but my children are not in a safe place. And there was nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do as their mother, because this is why Mona's Laws is so important. These corrupt attorneys should not be allowed to hurt our kids like this. It doesn't end when they turn 18. These are lifelong traumas that our babies carry with them, because you need a couple extra $1,000, Jana. And you're going to need a favor later, Leilani. These are human beings that you're messing with. This is why Mona's Laws is so important, okay? Because crazy families are everywhere. Let's just be honest. It's not just mine. There's a lot of them. It's not just mine or the one I married into. There are a lot of them. It's not, unfortunately, it's not that uncommon. Now, what happened in my situation, the crazy dominoes just happened to fall in the exact way. But the point is that none of these crazy people, not Jennifer, not Chris, not Lisa, not Josh, not one of them ever went to law school or took an oath to protect the children. Oh, and I know that sounds like, oh, Jamie, make excuses. No. I'm not making excuses for the family. What I'm saying is a family living room and a court of law should live very far apart from each other. And when you have women and CPS trafficking too, absolutely, with your fraudulent CPS case, solidifying it in the court of law. Can you imagine what that does to to those children? And it's no wonder, I've said in some of the earlier videos, I know at least one of them I said, although to be fair, when I said about this time, I was talking about someone very specific. But I have said that if you stop fighting for your kids, then you didn't serve those kids. And now it's been 3.5 years. I said that probably a year and a half in. Now it's been 3.5 years, realizing what my children are up against, even Deacon, now as an adult, after everything he's been unnecessarily put through, so Jenna could make a mortgage payment. So Tuesday, not a Dr. Smith, can commit medical fraud in every way. There's no way that woman is upholding that business while not being open, unless kids are being trafficked from CPS, because that's how I got to her, by Jonathan Brown, okay? This is no joke. Let's get on to Jennifer real quick. Jennifer's getting real creepy. It's getting creepier. Creepier. Like some, I made a post the other night. I was like, it's like Hand That Rocks the Cradle meets Flowers in the Attic. It is getting creepy. And I'm going to tell you why. So last winter, and I've talked about it a little bit on the vlog channel, but it's not anything that I've gone into detail about yet. And I do feel like one day that I will, but now is not the time. Right now it's time to move forward. But last winter, some really scary stuff happened and went down. And she was reached out to. And I did make contact with her a few times. She made it all worse. And I know that in the video where it's maybe 2 years old now, the forgiveness video where I said I have forgiven Jennifer, that is still true. However, I do not feel safe in any way, shape, or form being alone with her. And the fact that that's the person who has my children, and I know things that I promise you, y'all don't. It makes you feel so helpless. So anyways, I was talking to actually one of the girls in the neighborhood after all that happened. I was kind of like explaining what's going on. And she said something that that had never really occurred to me because it's not something that makes sense to me. But when she said it, I thought, actually, I was telling the neighbor over on the other side of the bed what was going on and how that was happening. How I wasn't going to be around Jennifer. And she said, Jamie, because she knew like about the house and everything. She's been kept up, the woman that I was talking to. And she said, Jamie, do you think that your mother is jealous of you? And when she said that, right after all that had happened with Jennifer, I started to see it a little differently because creepy things are going on. Not only has she projected so much of her own crazy onto me for years and years and years, but if you go look at her Facebook, which at this point I've blocked both of them, so I can't look at them. It breaks my heart. And one day I'll make a video explaining more why and exactly what happened last winter, how she was involved, and and how she wasn't. But if you go on her Facebook, she has pictures of my children and speaks of them like you would think they're her children. I went on her Facebook like a week after the neighbor and I were talking. And I almost started by the time I blocked her, I was shaking. Because she will post pictures of my children and then in the comments people be like, oh, they were raised right. She didn't raise them. What are you talking about? And she'll be like, oh, thank you. And it's almost like, I almost feel like people on Jennifer's Facebook, which also another creepy thing after is that once I started doing YouTube videos, she started a channel on YouTube as well. She has a channel on YouTube too. I've not watched any of those videos, but I know that she has one. It's like a little podcast with her little friend. But if you go on that Facebook, it looks like she acts as if they are her children, and they're not. I'm her child. And I was abandoned as soon as I had to sell that house. She didn't want anything to do with me anymore. She's taunted me on my birthday for years, just by not calling because she knows how much that upset me. Before any of this ever happened, Jennifer had a vendetta against me for a while. And now, after the neighbor said that to me, and I learned about the YouTube channel and then went on her Facebook and was seeing all of this stuff with my children, my babies that I raised, that I grew. And it's almost like you wouldn't even know that there was a generation in between those two that is right here, that was begging for Jennifer for years before she set all this up to make it happen. And she got Lisa on board, who was already crazy as well. We all knew it, so was her family. And my abusive ex-husband on board. It was a perfect storm. There was nothing I could do. She knew I had been sick for years. She knew I had been in that house for years, working. She knew. It's almost, and anyone who still believes that this woman is so worried about my mental health, honey, I have a bridge to sell you, okay? Tell me why a mother who was ever worried about their child's mental health would completely abandon them and do the horrible, horrible things. If you're worried about your child, you don't cut off all contact. Your child calls you starving, literally, nothing but skin and bones. You pick them up and you hug them and you take them home. You make them a meal and you love them back to health. Jennifer, they're not your children. You didn't make them. Me and Travis made Deacon, and me and Joshua Grigolite made Ramona. You and Chris were not involved in any of that. You weren't there those nights. Thank God. That would have been really gross and disgusting. Ew. This family's weird, but it's not that weird. Ugh. Anyways, it's getting creepier. I just blocked, the other night I ended up blocking one of Ramona's family members that I have tried to be cool with this whole time, because it's becoming more and more difficult for me to make excuses for the people around the abusers that my children were sold to. And this is why Mona's Laws is so important. This is why it's so important, because crazy families happen and they're going to keep happening because people are crazy. But when we have lawyers selling these kids, solidifying the crazy, you are traumatizing the future of our community. These are children who will deal with abandonment issues, trust issues for the rest of their life because you sold them to their abuser from their parent, from their mama, Jana and Leilani. Tuesday, definitely not Dr. Smith, Teresa Berry. You are selling children. You are ripping them from loving and protective mom's arms and putting them in the hands of criminals. So yeah, Deacon's 18th birthday was pretty rough to handle. And this video is going to be rough to handle, and I'm glad it's almost over. I've mentioned Mona's Laws a lot, because that's where the goal is driving right now. But here's the thing. I can't do it without any kind of backing all by myself. And every dollar really, really, really does matter when it comes to getting the word out there on Mona's Laws, when it comes to protecting the future of not only your kids, but our grandbabies. You don't want your grandbaby to be sold. Yes, in my situation, it happened to be that the grandparents were crazy and they were the ones that were able to manipulate a lot. But that shouldn't be allowed. Another thing that Mona's Laws is so important is that we bring the education, knowledge, and wherewithal about grooming, psychological abuse, and manipulation, brainwashing, how to spot a lie into our schools. Because my babies didn't know. How would they? Their schools weren't protecting them. They still aren't. I'm still proud of my son. He works at a sushi place. He has a job. I found out some things, and I can't wait until the day that them and I can be just reunited and start working on things. But they've been trafficked. They're almost Stockholmed at this point at 4 years. They've been an echo chamber of hate about the only parent that cared about their actual well-being and their actual mental health and their actual future, as I would never. And you can ask both their fathers this, because I pushed for their fathers to have relationships with them after they left. And they'll both tell you the same thing. I would never, ever steal my child's father from them because I am a crazy person. I want money and I'm spiteful. Has nothing to do with my babies. That is child abuse. Jennifer, Lisa, you're abusers. I'm going to put a link in the description. My call to action is for donations for Mona's Laws so I can really get started on marketing, because I can only do so much, and I'm building up these platforms as quickly as I can. But I'm only one person. I'm dealing with a lot. And money, when it comes to marketing, goes a long way. And this is important. It's important right now. Right now. My son, both of my children, my daughter, know that I am here. I will never not be here. They are the only people on the planet that have permission to blow my phone up. I told them, I texted them both that too. If you call me and I don't answer, call again, call again, call again. If anybody else says that, you're getting blocked in like 2 seconds. I'll be like, oh. Call until I answer. They're the only 2 people in the world. These videos are important because I feel like it's an important inside look of parental alienation and everyone judging. Upcoming on this channel, I actually have a series coming about Britney Spears and Kevin Jobless Federline. Well, so exploitative. And you know what? I don't know either of those people, obviously. Obviously, I've never met either of them. But there is so much in her trafficking case. You can't tell me that wasn't trafficking. Her was worse. They enslaved her. This is worse. What they did to her was worse than what they did to me. Let's keep that clear. But right down to the betrayal of her mother and syncing up with her abusive ex to control the kids in, like I said, a very cult-like brainwashing manner. I have to because I feel like a lot of people look at her. Oh my goodness, poisoned, drugged, trafficked. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. I don't know how she has survived what. And then everyone's giving her crap just for spinning around her living room as if she's hurting anyone. Shut up. Who cares? The only reason you'll never see me spin around is to have any rhythm. I am clumsy. I only dance literally when nobody's watching because it looks like bees are attacking me sometimes. I got the face, I got the body, I do not have the moves. Anyways, but who cares? Like, that's what's making her happy. She's hurting literally 0 people. 0. Count them. 0. Shut up. None of us have been through what she has been through. And my prayers for her is that she can just hang on long enough to keep healing so that she can keep fucking speaking. Because there's a lot that we don't know. And when I do that series, I'm going to be quoting Popcorn Planet a lot and BJ Investigates a lot. And I'll link their channels in the description of those videos too. So I'm going to put a direct link in the Mona's Laws. I'm raising the money on the Buy Me a Coffee app. It's easier than, what's the other one? GoFundMe, because of the 2-factor authentication. When I did the GoFundMe, I tried to do GoFundMes before at the beginning, and actually I made 2 of them. And the first one, they were only for legal fees for me. It wasn't for Mona's Laws that time. It was just going to be for legal stuff. This was the beginning when I was still thinking about custody. Like I already said, custody is a moot point at this point. My first baby is 18. Mona is 14. And I've already told her, I will never put you through that. I don't think so. She should have never been put through it to begin with. But what was I saying? Oh, so the first time was for legal stuff, but I never ended up hiring a custody lawyer. So, and I didn't put any banking payout information into it because I wasn't going to withdraw it anyways until it was for lawyer stuff, until I was getting to a lawyer. And because I didn't hook up a payment, like outward payment bank soon enough, they canceled it. And then the second one, I couldn't get into it because I didn't have a regular phone number at that point. Anyways, but I am going to put a link right in the description where you can donate directly. You guys, it's so important. These are our children, and the government's not doing shit to stand up for them against these corrupt attorneys. They're not doing anything. It happened to the most powerful woman at the time, like kind of in the planet when it comes to entertainment. And it happened to me. And I'm the exact opposite of that. Disabled and poor. It can happen to anyone. So I'm going to have a little series coming up on that. I'm going to compare a lot of what happened to me to a lot of what we've learned about her in the interviews and everything. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I'm about to do a little voiceover for a really cool AI video thing that I made for Mona's Laws. And it's only 24 seconds long, but I know I'm going to have to redo it like 80 times to make it not sound like Jennifer Tilly. Her voice is prettier than mine. Mine's just weird and changes all the time. Even though I don't even know about it. But I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I'll put a link. Every dollar helps. Every prayer helps. Every good vibe sent helps. If you are watching this on the Quarles Kidnapping YouTube, go follow my vlog channel too. It's at Always the One Smiling. And I'll put my link tree in the description as well. Stay tuned on the Britney stuff. It's messed up. Y'all need to leave. Leave that girl alone. She has been through enough. Things most of us would never survive. Straight up. And I was a therapist. I know most people wouldn't survive that. I've seen what happens to people when they go through things. It was my job. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always. And I'm not going to see you in the next video. You will see me in the next video. Thank you.